I said this before, and I really mean this. Either really strange times we live in, and none of us know if we'll live to see tomorrow. I spoke about how we're living in a time where conservatives are literally telling us to sacrifice our lives to protect the institution of capitalism, fighting for the Dow. I contrasted that with when we went into the Iraq War. And he talked about jihadis. And there was this nonsense about how Arabs don't feel the same way that we do about family and all this other crap. We are now the jihadis in a different way. I'm watching the rest of the world, how they respond. I spoke to you guys about when I was in Jonesville, when I was doing that flatbed gig. And I spoke to you guys about how nobody at the warehouse I went to had on masks, gloves, nothing. But looking at me funny and stuff like that. And everybody I met that day, nobody had masks on, gloves, nothing. I spoke to you about how this shows you they're not taking it seriously. And that's nationalism. It's a sort of single-mindedness. It's sort of a license to be ignorant about the rest of the world. I'm not saying that some guy in Italy cares about me or something like that, but it's different. In the South, it's like there's a pride in being ignorant. There's a pride in being uninformed. There's a pride of, like my dad was talking about, he thinks HIV comes from gay sex. And I'm like, dude, and he corrected him. So I'm like, man, I thought you were smarter than that. Like, wow, you really believe that? Other stuff my dad has said. That's nationalism. That's what it is. It's just a pride in being ignorant, a pride in jumping to conclusions, a pride in everything's about drugs and sex. Everything is just this stupid anti-intellectual culture. That's what I take nationalism to be. And it's going to kill them. In fact, it might kill a lot of people. I spoke to you guys about that. About how that being unaware it's going to take them longer to get oriented onto quarantine and stuff like that. I was was in the post office thing, a worldwide trip, and I was wearing the mask. People were looking at me funny, making jokes and stuff. And the next week, they closed down all the post office warehouse. I haven't worked a mail job in weeks. Okay. It's really sad that we're at the point now to where they're doing that. They're asking people to sacrifice their lives. But to me, this is simply another part of the fall of capitalism. I keep going back to this. I haven't talked about this in a while, but we're watching the fall of capitalism. You can put that on Trump threatening people overseas, all these different events that's going on. This is the fall of capitalism. And they're more desperate and more desperate and more desperate as time goes on. I spoke to you about how the downplaying of the pandemic put their voting base in danger. I don't care how many redneck, 50-plus Christian evangelicals that hate gay people and all that. I don't care how many people you can find. They're in danger. I never thought I would see that. Survivalists and people who own guns and stuff not taking a pandemic seriously. That's kind of unusual to see that. Yeah, that's somewhat unusual. I never thought I'd see that. I thought it'd be the opposite. In this situation, the left, we're the ones that are like telling you be careful, and the right is the one that's like, no, it isn't that serious. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an infectious disease specialist. I don't have any degrees in that specialty. I don't. But I can tell you this. I sincerely hope that the left remembers that. Sometimes I think that people on the left like do drugs and stuff, and kind of like tune out or tone out, because it's easier to do that. Like, we know that our society's fucked up, but we can't change it, and so we get into drugs, we get into stuff that's of no value, because we're trying to cope with it. We're trying to cope with these wars. We're trying to cope with just the reality. We're not going to be able to have the middle class stuff our parents had, right? And that's really, I don't be careful what I say, but to a certain extent you can have that. But what you're watching with Trump and with this pandemic, with them telling people to literally sacrifice their lives and go back to work, this is different. You can't just go somewhere and smoke a bowl and just, okay, well, I don't like it, but it's will go away. No, you can't. Because, conservatives, I used to always hear conservatives say, if, with the left, like if you legalize marijuana, then eventually you'll be legalizing mushrooms, you'll be legalizing prostitution, you'll be legalizing everything. I put that to you conservatives out there. If they're willing to let a bunch of elderly people die by being exposed to a pandemic, what will conservatives allow next? It's a legitimate question. It's a completely legitimate question, just ask. Completely legitimate. This is the fall of capitalism. This is it. We're watching it. It's ugly. It's nasty. It's going to continue to be ugly and nasty. But it didn't have to be this way. I just hope the left can understand that. I hope the left walks away from this. And I'm not one of these people out here saying, we will recover and we'll go back to normal. No, I don't think so. I don't think America will ever return to the same normal, because of the death rate we're about to face, the amount of deaths we're about to face. When this many people die in a short period of time, it changes the culture. It does, because different people running the show. Even if like the people who survived this are like very respectful and very humble, it will still change the culture of America. It just will. It's just no discussion. Yeah, that's a fact. It will change the very culture of what you know America to be. Also, well, I'll just leave it there. I'll just say that it's going to change America at its core. And I think people, for some reason, I feel like survivalism is going to get a big jump after this. Like, people aren't going to forget. Maybe that might be just for like a 6-month period or a year period. But like, you're going to have people like me who, I'm not saying they're going to become conservatives, but you're going to get liberals, progressives that realize, hey, we're living in a crumbling society. And you've got people who are not interested in funding social services. They're not interested in dealing with crumbling infrastructure, such as bridges and things like that. And they're not interested in that. They just want to get us into endless wars and run up all these debts and stuff. And in that type of society, you're going to have some serious issues that come from that type of politics, that type of economic policy, and that type of foreign policy. And I think that's something, I hope, two things. I hope you have progressives, socialists, whatever, that understand that you're not. Sometimes I feel like the left is like fighting for gay marriage and, for transgender and gay abortions, and we're fighting for the right to smoke weed, and we're fighting for this. And We're so busy fighting for surface issues, marginal surface issues, while we're not fighting for key infrastructure. When you know, what I mean, it's like almost like the left. They run on that. They run on surface issues, and conservatives. I'm not saying they're running to fix things, but it's just that we need to double down on that. Liberals, progressives need to double down on that, and face the real issues. I'm serious. I hope those two things happen. I hope that you have progressives because this isn't the big one. It's not. It's not the big one. Hopefully nobody I know gets hurt from this, but a part of me feels like it's not the big one. Now, part of me feels like it's going to come back with a vengeance in fall. That's why I've been buying filters. Even if you had a pandemic, even if you had a treatment right now, and you could roll it out in the next week, and you could mass produce it within 3 weeks, and by the end of April, you had it on trucks rolling, I would still keep prepping. I would still keep buying what I'm buying. Real talk. Even if I was back running mail tomorrow, even if tomorrow is past, it'd be the post office is open. You know, we run routes. I would still keep buying masks. I would still keep buying photos. My UVC box I bought. I got one for my phone too. I might buy a second one for my phone down the road. You know, I got some gloves back there. What else will I get? I wish I had more hand sanitizer. I ain't gonna lie. This is gonna hit us hard next winter. This winter coming up. It really will. I keep reading people on my Facebook joking about like when they open up the bars, people are gonna start going back to the bars. I'm like, dude, I haven't went out as far as like getting crab legs and stuff since I got back from California. And honestly, I don't think I'll be doing that for quite a while. Like, I'm gonna keep getting filters, masks. I wish I had more rubber and alcohol. Like, I'm not ready. I'm not. And I really fear that if Trump opens up if he loosens federal restrictions, people are really gonna do that. Like, people are really gonna I'm pretty sure the states will still be like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna hold y'all to it. But I really feel like states like Texas and other states, if they can, people are gonna go out here and party in the middle of a pandemic. I mean it. I feel like that. Like, we won't even get a momentary respite. But even if we did, at this point, I would keep prepping. I would keep spending a lot of money on preps and my bills, and that's really it. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Don't do nothing. Yeah. Not buying ammunition. I'd like to get some range time though, but I'm not buying ammo. Filters, rubber and alcohol, other things here. But that's it, man. I want to get my Berkey water filter set up. I'm going to get that fixed so I don't have to go out for water. That's something I need to start. I need to get done. But I hope that progressives take this time to realize that no, you can't just go off and play video games 7 hours a day. You can't just go off and get high. You can't. I get it. I want to smoke weed again too. I get it. But you can't do that. You can't do that. We're facing ecological, natural disasters. We're facing ecological disasters. We're facing all kind of biological disasters. And these things aren't going away. So you have to do what you can to get ready for them. If you don't get involved and stay involved, you get more of what you're getting now, which is conservatives telling you to die to maintain the capitalistic system. I, for one, do not intend to become a victim to this machine. I'll leave it right there.